Hi. Hey, Randy.
Hi, everyone watching and listening. Welcome to the first episode of All About Tennis. And our guest for today in our first episode is Huey, longtime national player of the Philippines, many time Davis Cup player, and finished as high as number 16 in the world. Got to play in the semis of Wimbledon. Many time SEA Games gold medalist. Very special guest for this episode, the pilot episode of All About Tennis. Well, we're doing this podcast as a some sort of entertainment while everybody is in quarantine here in the Philippines. Everybody's in lockdown because of the coronavirus, and I'm happy that Tret here has a lot of time for us while the ATP tour is suspended.
Yeah.
Tret, good morning or good evening rather for you out there in Virginia.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks so much for having me, Randy. It's good to be on the first podcast. So yeah, it's
Yes.
good to be here, and it's good to give Filipino tennis fans something to listen to. Obviously, everybody's at home and trying to do what they can to stay busy.
Yeah. So, what have you been doing lately, Tret?
I've been
While
home since.
while on lockdown.
Yeah, I played Indian Wells Challenger right before the Indian Wells ATP event, and the day it was canceled, I flew home, and I've been home since then. I've just been, I was kind of training and getting ready for my next couple of tournaments, which I thought would be in a couple of weeks. But now I know there aren't going to be any tournaments until at least June, but most probably, I'd say probably later. So I'm just taking some time off at home, trying to relax and I don't know, enjoy being home. I'm not home too much here and there because I'm traveling, playing tournaments a lot. So it's good to be back home and I don't know, get the house in order and try to help my wife around the house.
That's good to know. Well, while everyone is in lockdown, I mean, it's sad what's happening around the world, but I think a lot of people are kind of enjoying their time. Also, suddenly they have all this time. Same here with me. Suddenly, I'm always in the house. Usually, I'm always on the go, and we have this time and just trying to get some opportunity also. And now we're trying to do this podcast for our tennis community in the Philippines. And how's Charlotte so far?
Yeah, Charlotte's doing well. So she's a nurse here in Virginia. So she's been working a lot. There haven't been too many cases. I think there's 6 or 7 cases in our area right now. So they're expecting the next week or two for it to get more and more. And so she's going to be kind of working 4 or 5 days a week and also on call the rest of the time. So she's really busy right now. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to stay home and be healthy, and hopefully she does the same while working a lot.
Well, salute to Charlotte, and she's a frontliner out there. They're our heroes out there or out here in the Philippines. All of our nurses, our doctors, the frontliners, people working in the supermarket. Um, they're the ones whose lives are at risk at this time, and we thank all of them for that. Yes, thank you to all the nurses, doctors, all the people working in the hospitals. And okay, so I mean, this is a tennis podcast supposedly, and let's talk a little bit about tennis. And before the tour got canceled, Fred, um, what tournaments did you play in?
Yeah, I played right before Indian Wells. I played the Indian Wells Challenger. My regular partner, Nathaniel Lamons, he went for Davis Cup for the U.S. So he was there as a practice partner for the Bryan brothers for the U.S. Davis Cup team. So I played the Indian Wells Challenger with Dutch guy Sam Verbeek, who used to play with Francis Alcantara. So we made the
Yeah,
semifinals there. So it was okay result, but yeah, I was doing real well the last month or two. So it was kind of unfortunate that the tournaments had to stop with and be suspended for the next month or two. I was really starting to get on a roll, and I could have seen myself winning more and more titles this month, the next couple months. But hopefully, I'll get back to that when tournaments resume.
So that's the last tournament you played in, as I understand, the Indian Wells Challenger, right? Yeah. So this is the tournament right before the big Indian Wells ATP event. Is this correct?
Yeah, that's correct. There's a lot of the good players played it before the big event. Jack Sock won the tournament, and he lost to Steve Johnson in the finals, and Francis Tiafoe, Yannick Sinner, a lot of the good up-and-coming young players are playing the tournament to get ready for the big ATP event the following week.
Is it the same venue as the big event, Indian Wells? Or
exact same venue. We played on. We didn't play on the main two stadium courts, but we played on all the other courts. And so it was the same venue. We were all there. Even when we played there, quarterfinals and semifinals, the main courts, everybody was kind of getting in town, practicing, getting ready for the big ATP event to start. Everybody had been in town, kind of prepping, getting their first practices in when the Indian Wells tournament was canceled, and then from then on, basically everything has been postponed and moved to later dates.
How was the atmosphere there? Considering, I'm sure everybody's practicing, as you mentioned, but were you there when they announced that suddenly the event is canceled?
No, I left that morning, actually. I had lost the night before in the semifinals, so I left the morning that everything was canceled. They canceled it Sunday evening, so I flew out Sunday morning pretty early. But everything, it seemed like a long time ago now, but it seemed like everything was completely fine. Everybody was practicing hard, getting ready for two days from then when the big tournament was supposed to start. So yeah, everybody was ready. It didn't seem like anybody had any idea that it was going to be canceled and moved on. It seemed like everybody was kind of ready for just the same old tournaments are going to start. Everybody's practicing, doing what they can to be ready for their match.
Wow. And so no inkling of it getting canceled at all at that time when you were there?
Everybody was completely surprised. You could tell. I mean, I talked to a lot of the players that were still there that night, and everybody thought, oh, complete overreaction, what is going on? But obviously they were smart and ahead of their time, which is really great. And looking back, it seems like a long time ago now, but it was really smart of them to kind of cancel it that day and kind of get, I don't know, California and a lot of the states kind of more ready for what was to come in the next week or two.
Okay, going back to the tournament, you played with Sam Verbeek, and as you mentioned, former partner of Francis Casey Alcantara, Nino. How was it? How did you hook up with him? Is it through Nino, or you guys know each other from way back?
No, I've known about him, I guess, because I saw him playing with Nino. So they had great results 2-3 years ago when they were playing together. They won a lot of tournaments together, and yeah, he's a tall Dutch player, and I practiced with him once or twice at some tournaments, and I just so happened I didn't have a partner last second. I was looking for somebody, and he was the same, or he was kind of looking for somebody. So we linked up and decided to play just that week. So yeah, it wasn't a bad week. Making semifinals is always pretty good, but the last month or two I've been close to winning a lot of the tournaments I've played. So yeah, I was hoping to win that one. That would have been nice.
And any big names that you played during that tournament?
During that tournament, we beat first round. We beat Bradley Klon and Mackenzie McDonald, who are both 70 or so in the world in singles. And then the second round, we beat Taro Daniel and Evgeny Donskoy, who are, I think, one of them 60 in the world and the other one's 85, 90 in the world in singles. So there's two good wins. And then semifinals, we had a tough match and lost to Mitchell Kruger and Sebastian Korda. So Peter Korda's son is an up-and-coming player. He's pretty good.
Oh, nice. So even in this Indian Wells Challenger, a lot of singles player plays in the doubles also, huh?
Yeah, for sure. Most of the tournaments now.
Just like.
Yeah, unless you're top 10 in the world, top 5 in the world singles right now, it seems like everybody's playing both singles and doubles, which is, I think it's good. It raises the level of the doubles game and it makes it more exciting.
But it seems like it's actually Indian Wells who started a lot of these big names playing doubles.
Yeah.
That's how I remember it. Like
Roger
I
always
remember
plays
you
doubles.
playing. Yeah, I remember you when you played with when you reached the finals of the Indian Wells.
Yeah, when I played with Jersey Janowicz.
Who was your partner again? Yeah, uh, and a lot of these big names, Djokovic, Nadal, they all play. I mean, how does
Yeah.
Indian Wells do it?
Yeah, they always have it.
How do they make them play?
Yeah, it's actually really good timing for them. I think it's just a little bit of luck where a lot of the top guys have been off since Australian Open and it's been a month or two. So they think it'd be good to play at least 1 or 2 doubles matches the first 2 days before the singles, before they'll play singles. They usually have a bye in the singles, so they won't play the first 2 days or so. So a lot of them are always ready to play the doubles and get ready for their singles matches. And yeah, that year we played Andy Murray and his brother Jamie Murray. A lot of the years Rafa has played. He's won it twice in doubles. So yeah, Roger and Wawrinka played a bunch. A couple years ago I beat
I know.
Wawrinka and Dimitrov there. So all the top players played.
So I mean, we all know that Indian Wells is the fifth biggest tournament, or the biggest tournament after the Grand Slams, and no special concessions for the players, singles players playing this doubles.
No, not really. A lot of them I think like to play the doubles. I think they want to play doubles more and more, but it's obviously tough on the body, especially if they are trying to go deep in the tournament, do well, and have to play 6, 7 matches in 8, 9 days. They want to be fresh and be ready for the next day. But because Indian Wells is a week and a half event, and you get a day off here and there, I think a lot of the guys are excited to play the singles and the doubles. It makes it. I think a lot of them have a lot of fun doing it, which you can tell when you see some of the videos of them playing. They're enjoying it. It's paid practice for them. They're really enjoying it, playing with their friends and playing doubles.
Is it also because it's a bigger prize money in Indian Wells for the
Yeah,
doubles,
maybe.
or is it? Because for me, I'm a believer that they should put almost like equal amount of prize money for singles and doubles. That's what I believe in.
I think so too. It'd be great.
No, I think that's how it should be. I mean, making the prize money different is the reason I think that a lot of big players are not playing it. And I think if it's the same, it doesn't have to be double. Like if it's 1 million in singles, it can be $1 million in doubles also, and the players can divide it because it's doubles. But I mean, you can see this in Olympic events. When they win gold medal, it's the same because it's the same gold medal, right?
Yeah.
And it's just as important. And everybody plays doubles in the Olympics. We know the Southeast Asian Games or the Asian Games, and a lot of the singles players play singles and doubles, or they even play mixed doubles if they can. And it's because it has the same prize. It's in this games, Olympics, Asian Games, SEA Games, it's both gold. So I think if in the tour they make it the same prize money, and in all of doubles will be as popular as singles, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I think that'd be a really good initiative where, you see, like you said, in the Olympics, when Nadal won gold medal in doubles, they were celebrating like they would celebrate when they win a singles Grand Slam. And same with Roger and Wawrinka. They're going crazy and
it's just as important. Yeah.
They have a gold medal. They can always say they have a gold medal in the Olympics, where that's unbelievable.
Don't worry, if I have a chance, I'll lobby for that.
Okay.
Assuming that the ATP Tour resumes sometime June 7th, supposedly, what events are you looking at?
Yeah, playing with my partner, Nathaniel Lamons, we've talked about playing. There's some grass court events in England, Nottingham, and Eastbourne. There's grass events right before Wimbledon. So if the schedule, if everything comes back and is back to normal, June 7th, 8th, and that's when the tournaments begin, we're going to try to go to England and play those warm-up events for Wimbledon 2-3 weeks, and then hopefully get into Wimbledon. That's the plan for now, but we'll see if the calendar is changed or anything like that. I mean, you see the French Open trying to move around so that they have the French Open. Maybe Wimbledon will try to do that. Who knows? I don't know if they can move to later in the summer to try to have the event or to make sure they have a better chance of having the event, but who knows? That's what I've heard talk about.
I know. I mean, every day with this COVID-19 issue, I mean, every day is changing, and it's actually so difficult now to plan anything, right?
Yeah.
How about the French Open getting rescheduled to that date, almost the same date as the Laver Cup, and it's really a big issue for a lot of players, and especially involving Roger Federer and the big names who's committed to the Laver Cup.
Yeah, for sure.
And they said that the Laver Cup is all sold out in Boston. What do you think about this move of the French Tennis Federation?
Yeah, it was a big power move by the French Open, and they didn't tell anybody really. They, from what I read, they asked Rafa if that worked for him, and he said, yeah, he could make that work, most likely, you know. And that was the only person they talked to apparently, and they made the announcement online that yeah, we're going to move it to the third week of September. So if it does happen, like they said, the U.S. Open would end, and there would be 6 days until the French Open main draw starts. So it'd be a packed schedule. I know a lot of the players I've talked to would be willing to do it, obviously, because the prize money is so big in the Grand Slams, but it'll be tough on everybody's bodies. I mean, it'll be tough to stay healthy, play back-to-back weeks, play 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks in a row, because there's going to be a lot of big tournaments there that are big prize money events that they've kind of missed right now in the spring. So I'm really looking forward to that. Hopefully, I mean, that's my goal right now during this time off. I want to stay in great shape and keep working out. So when tournaments do resume, I feel like my body's back healthy and my back's feeling good. So I want to play a lot of weeks in a row. If there's tournaments and big tournaments here and there, I want to play as many as I can and give myself a shot to keep moving up the rankings. So yeah, I've done well moving up the rankings the last couple of months. I'm back to 120, and I started at 0 last year in April, May. So back to 120 in less than a year, and hopefully going to keep moving up.
Talking about you trying to stay in shape, well, what do you do? Are you guys in complete lockdown there, or are your clubs still open?
All the clubs are closed. The club where I play a lot is completely closed, but it's not complete lockdown where people are encouraging you to go outside as long as you're keeping social distance of 6-8 feet away from a lot of people. So some of the days I've been waking up early, going to the park and hitting against the wall there. So I've been hitting against the wall some, and I got a stationary bike at home. So I've been riding that and doing some Peloton classes at home and trying to stay fit and ready and keep my body. I don't know. I feel like I've gotten to a good point where my back and body are in good shape now. So I want to keep that up and keep progressing.
But tennis clubs are closed.
Yeah, all the tennis clubs are pretty much closed. So yeah, there's one park nearby that has a wall that I've gone to hit on, and some people are playing there, but that's only the people play there every now and then. I feel like that they're just the ones that stay together. Nobody's really meeting up with different people or anything like that.
Okay. How about when you were in Manila during the Southeast Asian Games? You brought for the first time your wife Charlotte to Manila. It was her first time. Is that right?
Yeah, first time in the Philippines. So it was nice for her to come. And after SEA Games, we went to Palau and had the most amazing vacation after. So yeah, it was great. Great time in December. So yeah, we still look back at the pictures now and think what an amazing time we had for 4 or 5 days in Palawan.
So what did Charlotte do in Manila?
She was there the whole time during the event. She went around and did a lot of sightseeing with my mom, actually, because my mom came to watch the Sea Games as well. So they were together a lot. And yeah, she had a good time. She watched all the events. I played the doubles and the mixed, and it was a good event. I mean, we had some chances in the finals against Francis and Jason, but they played really well. So obviously, I wish I could have won that, but who doesn't want to win the matches they play? But
yeah. I mean, well, for me, considering that it was an all Filipino finals, I was already happy. And,
yeah, for sure. Same.
I was just cheering for good points, but I wasn't cheering for anyone.
Yeah, exactly. That's something where I'm obviously disappointed I didn't win because I wanted to win, but I'm really happy that they won.
Yeah.
So it's great for them.
Yeah. They played really well on that event. So how about in Palawan, in El Nido? Talking about El Nido a little bit. It was that your first time also in El Nido?
Yeah, first time. So it was unbelievable. I've seen a lot of pictures on Instagram from travel bloggers and travelers on Instagram. The pictures look unbelievable, and in person it was just as beautiful as I saw online. It was amazing. We had such great experiences, and yeah, it was an incredible time. I'll always remember that, and hopefully I get to go back sometime soon.
Did you try some local spots in El Nido town?
Yeah, you gave me some good recommendations. I forgot. We got some, yeah.
But you don't remember them now.
Yeah, I forget the name, but it was good because it was after the event, so I was able to unwind. We had great meals and drank a bunch of the nights and went to different bars. So yeah, it was good times for sure.
I think I gave you like 100 recommendations, so
yeah,
I don't remember. But did you go to a restaurant in the town or no?
We went to one restaurant in town a couple times that we liked. I forget the name of. It had nice like swings, the chairs that you could swing, and the chairs at the bar.
Oh, okay. That must be Happiness Bar.
Yeah, maybe so.
It's like a vegan bar.
Yeah.
As I remember. Yeah. Okay. And I'm sure you also went to most likely Sava, the nice bar in town.
Yeah. But yeah, the best part I think was island hopping, seeing all the different islands and going around there. It was unbelievable. So can't wait to go back.
The islands, of course. I mean, that's what El Nido is. But it's also nice to see the local people and the tourists hanging out in town at night when everybody's done touring. That's always my favorite thing to do in a touristy place.
Yeah.
Chet, going back to tennis again. In the ATP tour, what was your biggest match? What was your biggest win? I should say.
Biggest win. I've played all the big time players. I feel like I've played Roger in the IPTL. I played Roger in doubles. I played Rafa in doubles in the IPTL, and I played Novak in an early pro tournament in singles, and he beat me pretty easy. But yeah, he turned out to be pretty good.
Really? Where was this? In the US?
In the US, yeah. I was, I think, 18, 19 playing a future in Florida, and I remember losing to, I was like, oh, how did I lose to that kid? He was like 15, 16 years old, but he was pretty good. And then, yeah, a couple of years later, I was like, I think that's him. And I looked it up, and I was like, oh, it wasn't a bad loss. He's pretty good. So, yeah. But, yeah, I think.
Okay, so.
And I lost to Rafa in the IPTL, but I beat Roger in the IPTL, and it was a set to 6, so 6-4. It was only one set, but I consider that a win. So I can always say I have a win over Roger Federer.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think I remember that match. That was in Dubai, right?
Yeah, in Dubai, yeah.
Yeah, I watched that out there.
Yeah, I still watch every now on YouTube just to like, man, I beat Roger Federer.
And no, not only did you beat Roger, but his partner, both of the players that you played, his partner was Marin Cilic. And I mean, he was a US Open champion at that time. And
for sure, yeah. That's definitely a good win.
I mean,
I've played Chilich a couple of
yeah.
times in some of the ATP events, and I played Murray and his brother and beating them at Indian Wells. I played Wawrinka. I played uh, Dimitrov. I played all the kind of the big top 10 guys the last 10 years or so since I've been on tour. So yeah, it's been unbelievable. I'm really looking back. I'm still a fan of tennis. I still see it and think, wow, this is unbelievable. I'm so lucky to be here. It's I still think of it as like I'm a little kid and
I know.
a fan of the game.
Well, if that's how you feel, that's how we feel also on having you play for the Philippines. Like,
Yeah,
hey, we have a Filipino in Indian Wells. We have a Filipino semifinalist in Wimbledon. I mean, this is amazing.
yeah.
I
Especially
mean,
during Wimbledon, I think it was so
it's like
special because yeah, making the
it's like
semifinals, we had a
having an
tough
NBA
loss.
player.
Yeah, yeah. Soon. I
Yeah,
mean, it's only a matter of time till there's a big NBA player. But like I said, going back to Wimbledon, we had a great run at Wimbledon. Had some chances in the semifinals, losing in the fifth set. But then we had Davis Cup the week after, and the publicity and everything after when I came back to the Philippines 2 3 days after the Wimbledon semifinals was unbelievable. It was great for Philippine tennis, I think, and hopefully the years to come, Philippine tennis just gets bigger and bigger. Where we've got some good young players coming up, and hopefully more and more players are playing the big events like I have the last couple of years, and hopefully I'll be back in a couple of months when I'm back in the rankings, hopefully climbing the rankings again.
yeah. No, I mean you've been playing tennis for the Philippines for quite a while since 2009. A lot of people don't know that you've been playing since 2009. It's been 10 years now.
Yeah,
And when you barely had ATP rankings, you started playing for the Philippines, and at that time you were also some started getting support already from Cebuana Lulier, John Henry, and sometimes that's one of my questions to you. I was wondering, like, fresh out of college, you played for the Philippines right away. I mean, with you having a ranking of eventually finishing top 8 in the world in doubles, you could have played for the US eventually, but of course you didn't know at that time when it was still 2009, and you played for the Philippines, you committed to the Philippines, and we're so happy you did that. Not when your career was going down, but when you actually started your professional career, you played for the Philippines already.
yeah.
And what do you think would have happened if you didn't play for the Philippines? What do you
Oh,
think about that?
I don't think I would have had the career near the career I had. I mean, I can't thank John Henry Lulier enough, and all of Philippine tennis for a lot of support I've been given since 2008, 2009, when I finished at the university in the States. I kind of had the plan to play a lot of tournaments and see what I could do on the professional circuit. And without John Henry's support and Sabana's support, I don't think I would have, I don't know, given myself enough time at the lower level tournaments to kind of break through. It takes everybody a different amount of time and maturity. And my game got better and better when I was 23, 24 years old. And that's when I really started to see kind of the results and move up from the futures and challengers to the ATP events. And without that experience, I think uh, playing Davis Cup and representing the Philippines in the Sea Games 2009 or so and getting some good wins against some high-ranked guys like Denai Udom and against the Thai twins, I think that gave me a little bit more belief to keep moving up and saying, oh, my level is a lot better than I think. I can keep moving up higher and higher if I just stay at it and play bigger tournaments and give myself better shots at making big points. I think I can do it. And I think that increased my belief. And over time, I just kept moving up. And it's still unbelievable to me to see that I did it. I always thought it'd be great to hopefully play the U.S. Open one time, and the first year, I think it was 2011, there's qualifying for Wimbledon, and I qualified for Wimbledon. And my parents, my mom was in the Philippines, back in the Philippines, my dad was in the U.S. at the time, and they thought they both bought flights the next day to London, and they thought, what if this is the only Grand Slam he ever plays? We have to make sure and enjoy it. And no, I thought the same thing too, for sure. I was like, if this is
Oh,
the only Grand Slam I ever play, we have to enjoy and really like soak it all in. And that's how
I
we
know,
thought
you'll
at the
never
time.
know, right?
Yeah, that's how we thought at the time. You got to enjoy it. It could have been the last one and only one. But yeah, I've been really fortunate and played a lot of Grand Slams since then. So it's been unbelievable.
And among all your Grand Slam achievements, I'm I'm guessing it's Wimbledon that would have been your favorite. I mean, you had the best results there, finishing the semifinals. What can you say about your experience in Wimbledon?
Especially that semifinal match. We played on center court at Wimbledon, and the afternoon before we practiced. We practiced on one of the outside courts, and then after our practice, one of the officials from the club at Wimbledon said, "We're going to walk you onto the court. Nobody can hit there or practice there. It's only the matches on center court." So they walked us out there so we get a feel and look around center court and get the feeling of the court. So they always think it helps people be a little less nervous the first time they play out there or something like that. And I remember we took so many pictures that afternoon on center court as we walked, just on the side of the court, thinking, wow, center court Wimbledon. I've watched this and seen it on TV so many times. It's unbelievable. And going to sleep that night thinking we were going to play after Federer and Djokovic's match. We played the double semifinal after their single semifinal. And there was a great crowd, and it was unbelievable. I still watch the highlights every now and then on YouTube and kind of shut it off when it gets to the end of the fifth set, and I don't want to see the end. I always hope that there's a different ending. I know what's going to happen.
I remember a bit, but otherwise everything else was so good, right? But still, I mean, in semifinals you played against Mahut and what's his the partner's name again?
Yeah, Pierre Herbert.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. And I mean, those are great players as well. Did they win it eventually, or what happened to them in the
final? They won the finals in straight sets. So who knows? Maybe I could have been Wimbledon champion.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can always say that maybe I could have lost the round before that too, and I would have only been Wimbledon quarterfinals.
Yeah,
so
I know. You had a lot of very close match before getting to the semifinals, also, as I remember. Oh. And but as I understand, like, you guys get some sort of a membership club, or like you're a member of something, right? I mean, reaching the semifinals of Wimbledon. What do you call it?
Yeah. I'm a lifetime member of now the Wimbledon Last 8 Club, or Final 8 Club. So I can go back the rest of my life with me plus one, or me and a guest, and get into Wimbledon and go watch the tournament and kind of go behind the scenes kind of anywhere with our credentials and our badges. And so, yeah, that's something I'll hopefully do in the future. And I can always look back and say, yeah, I was a pretty good player at one time back in the day.
So you plus one. A lot of our friends doesn't know this. Watch out.
Yeah.
I'm falling in line for that plus one.
Yeah, of course. Partner. We play PCA together.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know that you were once my partner in PCA Open.
I let you down. We could have won the PCA doubles, but we lost in the finals.
No, but a lot of people don't know the story of that and how I convinced you to play. So just a little story. I told Tret, if you play with anyone else, you're supposed to win the tournament. So it's like, if you play with Johnny, PJ, whoever, you're supposed to win. If you don't win it, it's like, you didn't win it. But if you play with me and you lose, it's all because of me. You know, Randy's so weak. That's a good idea. But I mean, I was happy just to play with you. But honestly, I was so pressured. But anyway, let's not talk about that.